Hola, Ovito. Proving a point is pointless. Um, I heard that by one of my friends on Facebook, Malachi Reborn. Thank you for that. I experienced that yesterday, but I already know how like trolls and people of the internet kind of work because they're not trying to understand or understand anything. They're just trying to fucking prove their point of you're right, you're wrong. Now, the reason I jumped onto my comments thread because usually if you're not on my fucking vibration, I delete you or I don't even fuck with the comment. But I really try to work with people that are on the fence when it comes to on the fence to being conscious. So I try to be like, and that's when you might see me going into a comment section and explaining certain things because the dumbass motherfucker, I've already labeled you. You're ignorant. And there's one thing, not saying ignorant, you're stupid because ignorance is you don't know and you're willing to learn. Stupidity is you accept the bullshit and you're not trying to frame your mind to like do better. So there's a major difference with it. So a fucking bunch of dumbasses that are saying, I already know where you are. I don't even fucking address you usually. But when they jump on my shit, I don't want anyone else to be confused. So one of the comments I made because I was looking at someone and I put up a post and they're extremely judgmental. And I was like, well, damn, this motherfucker is a Christian. So it's so funny though when I'll say it individually to people like that, you know how them church folks are, or woo woo woo. We'll say it within the black circles and all this shit. But when I make a statement about that, I'm supposedly, like I said, I'm not really attack. I mean, you call yourself attacking me, but I'm gonna speak the truth regardless. I don't give a fuck because at the end of the day, you know who the fuck you be with in church. They'll talk about it this. You just, oh baby, you know how they are. We talk about older people, younger people. You know the people you're dealing with. But like I said, when it comes to trying to correct yourself or your religion or acknowledging things about yourself. I mean, just like me, like I said, I'm open and authentic. So that's why I'm not going to be on here and not curse or blah, 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 because I live my life as a fucking living example. And it's not like some godly or some fucking archetype that is not in frames with reality. That's not how God wanted me to deliver this. So I'm going to speak reality, whether you give a fuck or not. I mean, whether you like it or not, I don't give a fuck. So I'm always going to come speaking reality. So yeah, I don't give a fuck if I offend you. That's not who I'm here for. But I do give a fuck if there's a person that's on the fence about being intelligent and breaking out of all these boxes because everybody's running fucking programs. So it's just like the Matrix. It should be like I said. One of my teachers said this a long time ago. It's like the Matrix documentary. So if you're deep in the program, I really don't give a fuck about you. To be completely honest, because at the end of the day, you're way deep in there. I'm not trying to reach out to you, but I'm reaching out to people that are like on that little spark of stuff like that. So they have that little thing, that little edge. So like I said, a lot of people talk about Jesus, or let's say this is a real character. Say this is a real person. This is not a fictional character. Okay, let's say this is. But in reality, you're like, and there was someone, his name was Yahshua, actually, that was like a messiah. And like I said, I could fucking outdo the average pastor too. Like, it's just amazing how people act when truth is in your fucking face. Like, so-called Christians or the so-called black, they'll get mad at what I'm fucking saying, but you'll get mad at the so-called white. You're like, oh, you're doing all this rip. It's truth in your face, they're throwing at you. And they'll be like, well, I don't give a fuck about your fucking truth. Just like the Kaepernick thing. I don't give a fuck that my uncle didn't pass the bill for nothing. I just don't give a fuck about what the fuck you're saying. I'm gonna do what the fuck you want. But you can't get mad because a lot of people are like that. I don't give a fuck that you're telling me the truth. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want. I'm gonna get mad and I make a point about it and do what the fuck I want. Basically, I'm saying, fuck you. I don't give a fuck what you're saying. I'm not gonna correct my shit. And this is how the fuck I'm gonna live. So I dealt with a lot of that shit. But like I said, I'm gonna speak and not give a fuck regardless, because I'm not going to apologize. I'm going to call you on your shit because I correct my shit when I'm a living example. So when I do my shit, that's why I can call a motherfucker on their shit, because I will correct my shit while I'm doing the path. So it's not and if I'm not doing something, correct me. I don't mind being fucking corrected, but I'm not going to be a motherfucker that's not gonna correct the motherfucker when they're out of line or confuse someone that's on the fence because they're ignorant and retarded. I'm gonna make sure that shit is corrected because those souls are liable on me. So let's speak about this Christ character, Yahshua. When Yahshua in his time, when he was living as a Messiah, like I said, Messiah actually means messenger, and there's several messengers that was preaching this message that no one still fucking understands. They still want to fight and do all this other dumbass shit and debate, divide, that devil, diva. They always want to separate and fucking divide and fucking conquer. That's part of this Roman Catholicism, or this Roman programming. People just want to divide instead of unify. You're doing the opposite. You're out of tune with nature. You're out of tune with the universe. You're out of tune with universal law. You're a demon. That means you dividing against mankind. You're actually dividing against your fucking self when you're so ready to fight and divide and make a fucking point instead of just unify and missing and trying to get the message from the messenger, however the fuck is delivered. Like I said, if it delivers, obviously sweet is not working. So if it's delivered bitter and blah blah blah, it doesn't fucking matter. Did you get the fucking message? Motherfuckers are even like the three fucking Abrahamic faiths, Judaism, Islam, Christianity. It was the same fucking message. Three from the Abraham. No one still gets the fucking message. And the message is about love, evolving, and charity. And like I said, it's about self, getting to that Christ being and self, rising above, going through the different chakras, going through the level, and then you get to the Ark of the Covenant. Like I said, I came from Christianity and some of the roots in there. I mean, then they have it in Judaism too. But it's talking about getting here. Talking about being enlightened, being right up in fucking here. And nobody can fucking get there because they're still worried about debating, dividing, and these old fucking paradigms. That's why stupid ass motherfuckers that are over 40 or whatever age group, when you talk about the story of Moses, they ran around, they traveled because their fucking mind frame, they couldn't get rid of these old damn outdated patterns to go within this new paradigm that which we are heading to. We're leaving the Piscean era into the era of Aquarius, when it's talking about the era of enlightenment and the information age. So, but everybody's stuck on these old fucking paradigms, and that's why they can't evolve, and you will die. If your energy does not evolve, you pretty much die, and you won't. And that's what they talk about the world end. That's what they really mean, the end of ages. If your frequency cannot survive on that level, you're going to go backwards. That's why we have a bunch of degenerates. There's a certain level of people that will degenerate, and another level of people evolve. But you can't evolve. Talking about the scales, we talk about scales of Mayat, and we talk about Egyptian or Kemetic, which is the real name. Talking about Kemetic theories and stuff like that. We talk about light, heart, light as a feather. Then that means if you can't let go and shed all your old fucking patterns, you're not gonna make it. So stop all that shit. I'm making it to the. No, you're not. If you're still stuck in an old fucking paradigm. If it's out, just like an old ass computer, if it's an outdated paradigm, there's no fucking use for you in the new reality. So your fucking outdated shit, well, what we do, we divide it and fucking recycle to where it could be of better use, because that mind frame is not good into the new age of Aquarius paradigm. But you know how I always go off on tangents, but like when Christ was here, or the Christ, like I said, there's two different things I'm meaning of. It's like Jesus the Christ. So like I said, talking about translations, like motherfuckers kill me, they want to talk about no, go travel, blah blah. You ain't studied shit, but you trying to correct me. I study fucking you ain't studied shit, but you trying to correct me. It's like me having a fucking degree in fucking psychology or a master's, and you telling me fuck your master's degree, fuck all your studying. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. I'm still gonna continue to be retarded and do me. Fuck y'all. That's how I feel like. I've been studying my entire fucking life, like from Christianity to every book, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You don't fucking know. That's why you're still fucking retarded, and you're still in the fucking place that you've been with your retarded ass, because no one can fucking tell you stupid ass nothing. But anyway, that's enough of them. I could get that out. But when the so-called Christ, or the messenger being, was here, he shook up church. Like, I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. Like I said, y'all don't even read y'all Bibles. Y'all try to correct me. The hell y'all talking about Jesus was loved. He was hated. He wasn't like this Roman Catholicism thing. He hated that shit. It was like, it's basically what they're telling you in church and do thy will, give me some fucking money. Do what you want. Give me some fucking money. They ain't gonna say, they ain't gonna talk on too many subjects that get you fucking uncomfortable and mad. I'm talking about from my experience. The average, do thou will, give me some fucking money. Woo, everything is gonna be good. Law of attraction, God works and blah, blah, blah. Woo, woo, abundance, abundance, abundance. Do what the fuck you wanna do. Abundance of money, but give me some fucking money. Long as you give them some fucking money, it's damn near they don't give a fuck about what you do. And that's why the average motherfucker will go in that bitch on the fucking Sunday and then be crazy as shit the whole fucking weekend back and say, "Who all my sins are forgiven." Nah, this shit don't work like that. That's not a universal law. Only things work are universal laws, and there's a universal law of karma. So when you do something, it might not come back in the same effect, but it's gonna come back to you. And that's reality. So you're doing all this fucked up ass shit, and you think, okay, it's gonna be washed clean, but what the fuck is wrong with you? And that's some scapegoat shit. If you do it, it's always gonna come back to you. Now, it might not come back in the form, say you cheated on your husband or something like that. It might come back, your fucking daughter dies. It always comes back 8 times worse, but it will come back to you. And then you wonder why you're reaping this. You reap what you sow. That's in the Bible. So y'all pick and choose what motherfucking things you want to do in the Bible and how you feel, but you don't follow it all. But I was talking about the Messiah being, he was hated. They wanted to fucking kill him. Ain't no one trying to, like, save him or anything like that. He was definitely very, very, very much hated. He would go in church and shake it up. He's like, what the hell are you doing? Y'all preaching the wrong fucking shit. I'm talking about preaching and bringing someone up to a certain level of consciousness, the Christollah, the Christ being. Like I said, about rising up himself. That's why he say, y'all do greater things than he. Why has no one done any greater things yet? Because it's being preached wrong. Period. Like I said, I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit no more because that is just not my job. That's just not my job too. And when I talk about Christianity, Gnostic Christianity was good before the Roman Catholics did their thing to make it what it is now, which is a government publication. And all this is on Google. You can read it up. Like I said, I have no interest. Okay, check this out. Of making you feel good about your lies. I don't have no more interest in that. I'm just going to speak the truth as it comes to me, as it's delivered. So you can search these things and you could look these things up because I know where I get all my information from, like from higher, okay, sources. Like I've been connected with God. Why people pretend to be connected with God. So don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't play with me. And the problem before, I was worrying about making people too comfortable, so I wasn't assertive anymore. I just don't give a fuck about your comfortable. Sometimes you have to be uncomfortable to get some type of action. And for the longest, people have been ignorant and stupid, and I'm just not gonna allow that. But it's all about rising up self and getting to a certain level of enlightenment or consciousness and like illuminated being. So that's why Christ, like a kind of the glowing head kind of beings, but that's what he was doing. So he riled up and shaked up church. He called people on their shit. He talking about some of the heretics talking about. That's why I say you need to pray inside your room, like say in the quiet, in a dark space. That means meditation. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about people need to meditate in here. And everybody's like throwing it, and like you got people like heretics showing out in church, and like pastors or whatever they had at that time, just doing stuff just for the world to see. It had nothing to do about communion to God. I'm talking about the temple of heaven was in you. Temples. These are the temples. So your body is your first temple. Anything else is bullshit. Straight up. Now, I'm not saying don't forsake the assembly. Like we said, when there's like minds that kind of come together, there is a certain energy or electromagnetism that makes things move and make things happen when there's like 2 or 3. That's when they're 2 or 3 together. But the reality, this is your first temple. This is your real, true temple. Your only temple it's up in here. Why do you think these are called temples? All this shit is not, y'all be thinking this shit is a joke. Things are named the way they're doing. You're just unaware of them. And that goes back to the point of proving a point is pointless. And so, like I said, I'll admit what I did wrong. I definitely fucked up yesterday because I got out of character and got into this spiral with people that I knew were fucking sleeping. I just should have left it alone. But the reason I went into like those certain sections were to like, because I do have like certain people on my list that they're kind of confused and kind of iffy or still kind of learning, how to be in this paradigm. that we're in, and I never want to leave anyone that's like kind of confused on the fence. But someone who's choosing to take the blue pill or whatever the fuck, I don't know which one is the right one in the Matrix to get to unlock you. That those usually I don't concern myself with. So that's definitely something that I will not be doing anymore. Like this is what I'm saying to you. I am not gonna fucking censor myself. I'm not gonna say what you want me to say to make you feel comfortable. But this is what you're welcome to do. If you don't like what the fuck I'm saying, you could change this fucking channel. Period. There is nothing else because I'm not gonna speak the truth, not speak the truth because it makes some ignorant ass motherfucker. Or not, because I can't say ignorant because ignorant is not a choice. Stupidity is a choice. At this point in the information age, if you want to be stupid, that's your choice. So I'm not gonna sit down here and argue with someone that's choosing this way. This path is not easy. Like I said, the entire you. That's why you think they make all these movies about Walking Dead and stuff like that. Most of the world is asleep, so it's not. But I mean, I can't say most. There's a lot of people that are waking up at an alarming rate. And then, like I said, I have to kind of be careful of the words I used to, like waking up, because you still could be woke and still be kind of dead walking as a zombie. You think you woke, but you're not really. So I have to really be careful of my words because I know how the elite works a lot of times to throw out shit and throw out words and throw out schisms to kind of confuse and stuff like that. That's something about the beast that should let you know, like, because there are principalities and powers, and there's a lot of this shit that's in the Bible that is actually true and factual. There's elite group of people that run the world. So like there is a lot of stuff in factions and stuff like that, and sanctions in the way that they do things. That's why don't jump on a trend and shit like that. Be where you have to really, like, in this time, you really have to be discernment, and you have to, like, because a lot of times what a beast will do is they'll hook you with some type of truth information, like Jay, that hook goes like, oh, there's some truth, blah, 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 but then they'll bombard you with a bunch of garbage and it leaves you confused. Anything that's confusing, that's of the devil. And like when I say the devil, I mean a demon, a man crying against crimes against the love, anything, basically anything to me is a demon, the stupidity that's against enlightenment. So that's trying to keep you in whatever their paradigm is of lower frequency, lower vibration, because some entities here can't evolve or beyond. You have a choice to evolve, just like a child. When you're a parent and you really love your child, like people want to, again, that's more elite programming, but people want to talk about spanking and stuff like that. I got spanking, and that's good. Like you correct them when they're wrong. And sometimes the only way to correct it might not be talking, it might be ass whooping. So, but you got to do something to the point where, ooh, they're not gonna do no more, because it's not, you're just like in nature. You're not trying to hurt your child. That's not what you want to do. The problem is you don't want them to get hurt. And like I said, sometimes you have to take the little fire, but a really loving mother is gonna not let their child get burned alive. But by having that little spark of that little piece, they're like, ooh, there's not nothing I don't want to touch again. So that's what it is. Like I said, I'll speak in a certain way because I really do love people, like for real. So like I said, it's not gonna be on some fake shit to make you comfortable. I want to get you mad. I want you to get aggravated, because at the end of the day, I mean, there's something stirring up in you. That means there's like a conflict within there somewhere that's bringing you that type of energy that's making you thinking like something's ticking. And like I said, and that's all that matters to me. Like, it doesn't matter about, I'm just not going to sit up here and serve you what you want to hear because everybody be serving you what you want to hear. Yeah, I'm just not in the business of that. So, like I said, when I started this was from something like from God. So it's still from God. So like I don't care who likes it or who doesn't. But when you speak, make sure you know what you're talking about. Because like I said, I do welcome debate. I don't mind that. But make sure you know your history, because I'm not going to speak on anything I haven't studied. That's one thing about me. And then like I said, like the average person, yeah, they don't debate. They just kind of they just kind of attack because they know they haven't studied at all. They just want to get on here. Ooh, let me make a statement. I'm important. I'm enlightened. Let me be seen. And I've never said I'm enlightened. I never said of any of these nature, even though I am. And when I mean enlightened, it means I broke free of these old paradigms. Enlightened does not mean know everything. It doesn't mean like all this shit that y'all think it means. It's really simple. And it means anyone can do it. It means you let go of these old patterns and you got to a new level of consciousness and you understand, how things work. You don't know everything, but you realize that you're just a fragment of this universe or this multi-universe, but you're an important piece because everything, like even the small, everything is everything because God is experiencing itself, and like I said, however you call it, a multiplicities of itself. But like I said, at the highest level, you're just energy, you're just source being. So that's where you're gonna come from. That's why the soul is never divided, and it never dies or is destroyed. It's just it just goes back to his natural form. And like I said, some of the stuff, like, I'm not afraid to like question things. Know for a fact, blah blah blah. Unless I died and came back to life, I can't say I know for a fact this is exactly how it's going to happen. But what I do know is that the electromagnetism or the force or the energy, the atom that they've been saying for years, or that at one, like that energy, that spark, that is pretty much constant and every living being in the universe. So that is for sure something that you will return to. How and what form, I'm still learning. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's where I'm at today on this. It's like, don't be afraid to have haters or get people mad if you're standing on truth. But do be afraid to be loved on some fake shit. Because a lot of people don't love you. They love things around you. They love maybe even the idea of you. It'd be like there's a lot of abstractions, because I had someone, I know she wasn't in love with me at one point when I dated her because just the way she behaved, but she loved the idea of who I was. So be really weary for that, because at least you're standing on something. Because I'm not gonna be like, oh, I was just this and this, certain people are just like characters, like Diddy. You could look at that motherfucker and be like, he can do anything for some damn money. Like I said, that's just not my character. So I'm just gonna stand on what I stand on, and people get so offended. But that's good. I hope I spark some type of truths, because I have unlocked a lot of people. Like, that kind of surprised me. I'm like, ooh, I never thought he would have been unlocked after that. So you don't know it. Then I had friends that unlocked them too. So yeah, that's what I'm about. Enlightenment, path of enlightenment. Turn off your TV, turn off your social media, like all these entertainments to tame you, and you're not realizing what's going on and what the world is. Like I said, and then I know a lot of people crazy because, like I said, they're arguing about a woman in the dress, and people just, they're just furious about that shit. But let's think about some real issues now. You don't even know if your fucking water is good to drink. They're spraying chemicals in your fucking air. You're eating franken food, meat, and vegetables that's injected with a bunch of bullshit. Everywhere you go, a motherfucker's trying to kill you, but your mind is focused on a bitch dress. Yeah, people really, people are fucking crazy. I don't know how else to say that simply, but like, every fucking, like, in reality, people should be trying to unify themselves, like, in business and everything. Like, you're a fool if you think that your government still has your best interest at heart. Like, you gone. If you still out your mind, somehow you think they have my best interest. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, nowadays, no, they don't. So, like, and another thing, I'm going to have to speak on this real quick. And for instance, so I got to speak on it. Like, stop saying the system is broken. The system is that. The system is working superbly. You know why the system you think is broke? Because it's not meant for you to fucking win in this system. Okay? That's why you have to create your own systems. The system is working to perfection. To the fact that you believe that this system has something to do with your well-being. Are you fucking serious? No, it's working perfectly. And every system, major system, from the money, the banks, the debt is filled with debt. On top of debt, you borrow debt is more debt. So therefore, the motherfuckers that designed the system is working to perfection. The fact that you believe this shit is for you, and you're trying to fight. Oh, let me come into this machine and fight. No, that is not the way to do things. And like I said, even in the law of attraction, they say that in the law of attraction, when I'm talking about your patterns, talking about focus and attention, your job is not to change the old pattern. Your job is to focus your attention on a new pattern, because this is what y'all don't understand, and that's why I talk about reading The Power of Now. Like, only thing there is now, and there's ever recreating factions of now. You have past things coming up because you go back and think about those and recreate them and bring them back here. That's the only reason they're here. There is no future. There is no. That's why past, present, and future are kind of like the same delineated, because there's no future, there's no past. It's just recreations of now, and then it's however you choose to create them. Like I said, the wealthy people, and I'm talking about like just the regular wealthy people. Again, y'all be confused because y'all don't know. Like, the average 1%. That's anybody who makes over $100,000. So people be like, 1%, the 1% need to die. No, there's two different forms. There is the 1% and there's the ruling class. That's the same that's been in the Roman Cup when they had the heads rolling on the queen. That's the same ruling class that's been. And things are, they're the ones doing all the fucked up shit. They're the ones who paid your government. But the average 1% is a hard-working motherfucker that either was an entrepreneur and worked themselves up from self-employment. Like, all these, they're not talking about. I mean, when you're talking about them, y'all have to be y'all confused, because you're right. When they got the taxes and stuff, they are taking money from those people. They're not. But like the people that you think you want to hurt, you're not hurting them at all. You see, they do bullshit. They get fucking $20 billion bailouts there. Oh, let me blow up an ocean. Oh, $30 billion, BP. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the kind of stuff that happens with the ruling class. So, like, when you talk about, oh, blah, 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 the 1%, now you still just taking from you and Joe Smo. Like I said, the average millionaire is a Joe Smo, too. Like, that's who you did. That just worked incredibly hard and saw the system was full of shit. So, it's like, let me create my own system because I see what they're doing in this system. So that's who you're talking about. But you're not touching the, like, the Mr. Burnses of this world. No, you're not touching them at all. They'll continue to do the fucked up shit that they do, and make money and profit off of it. And the more fucked up shit they do, the more money they'll get. I mean, it's unfortunate, but the best thing you could do in these situations, and just be aware of them. Be aware of what they do. So, like, be careful what you speak. Make sure you do research. And one of my lessons, learning when to speak and learning when, okay, not argue. So, it's in the Bible too. Like I said, I do a lot of Bible preference. You're arguing with a fool, you'll be arguing with other. And like I said, back to the beginning of talking to my Facebook friend, Malachi Reborn. You trying to prove a point is pointless, and that's point in two ways. One is metaphysically. It's just like we're talking about your seeing, your perception. You're only able to see what your brain is allowing you to see. So that's talking about the metaphysical ways of doing things. So that means if I'm speaking something and your brain is not on that frequency, you're not going to understand it. Don't try to fight and try to make yourself understand and be like, oh, no, you're just not on that frequency yet. And which is fine. It doesn't mean that you not be on it, or maybe you're not. And then, like I said, if you don't understand it, that means it's not meant for you. So y'all have to accept that you're not going to understand everything, and some stuff that you might have to do, like a lot of stuff in self. You might have so many paradigms or whatever in yourself that you have to unlock and go through the keys so you get to that certain level of understanding. The second part is, they may understand, but they don't give a fuck. They don't want to try to understand because they're just really hell bent on doing what they want to do or trying to be seen. But like I said, I've seen that a lot. I am done with dealing with people that want to be seen. I reluctantly did this. Actually, me speaking, it's about 2, 3, maybe 4 years behind. I was supposed to speak. God told me to speak a long time ago. So, like, I'm very reluctant. I would in the beginning reluctant like a sweat, but I gotta do what I need to do because I'm gonna keep going through shit until I do what I need to do. But a lot of motherfuckers just want a spotlight, and they'll say any fucking stupid ass shit to be in the spotlight. Or like I said, they'll look up some shit or tell a little bit, blah blah blah. This is a virtual one woo woo. They'll say some dumb ass shit just to be fucking seen, and just like I see it all the time. Social media work. I'm like, how much work does that motherfucker get done, and he's always fucking talking? Yeah, like, and then same thing, you're asking God for stuff, but you're always fucking talking. Like, if you motherfuckers still, like I said, you still don't get the thing with listen, like the silence and listen. And same thing with it. Like I said, okay, the words wasn't exactly backwards with transposed, were actually, but yeah, you got the fucking point. But now you want to get on my point and prove a point, and still my point was your noise is still fucking static because you still getting the point. You shut the fuck up, and that's why you're missing blessings, because you're missing fucking messages, because your stupid ass want to overtalk the point in whatever form that you want to make it and miss the fucking point. That's why your dumb ass is missing fucking blessings, and you wonder like, why is my house so loud? Because you talk too much shit. You're fucking retarded. You want to overthrow yourself and be King Kong. It's not about being King Kong. It's about fucking enlightenment and wisdom and growing. And beyond that, like I said, and one thing about myself, like, I don't give a fuck what somebody says on, like, a Facebook or whatever. Like, when I'm wrong, I will correct myself. But if I'm not wrong, I'm not gonna correct myself to make you fucking feel better. Hell no. I know what the fuck I be saying, and I know what the fuck I say. And then, like I said, this wasn't even some of this shit. It wasn't even my direct experience. This is empathy for people dealing with fucking bullshitters. And like me having empathy, I'm like, damn. They might not be strong enough to deal with them motherfuckers. I am their voice. You feel me? Because not everybody's strong enough to deal with people's y'all fucking bullshit. So that's what I came with, because I'm at a place where I'm much stronger. I'm a fucking lion. So I'll eat you alive if you come at me with bullshit in every form. I will eat you alive and break you down. But like that was what that post was yesterday. Frustration of somewhat what my friends were dealing with and being attacked and stuff like that. So I was just like, okay, let me, like, these people are like ridiculous. Let me, speak. Let me speak on that. So yeah, that's what that's for. But yeah, that's all that tangent. 30 minutes, God. But yeah, oh yeah, proving a point is pointless because, like I said, the vibration and frequency, they're not trying to hear it, blah blah blah. But one thing I want you guys to do, same thing that I'm doing, don't not speak when it's time to speak, because it makes another motherfucker uncomfortable. Uh-uh. Don't live there. Who gives a fuck? Fuck them. Because there could be someone out there, and it's happened to me several times, that's listening to you, and that broke them out of the box. But you was worried about a stupid motherfucker that's not gonna make it any fucking way. But you had someone on the fence, and that needed to hear what you're saying, that resonated with them, and that helped them. Like I said, I had people help come and meet the crazy shit, like oh man, you helped me with this, or blah, or I'm over talking in conversation, giving somebody else advice, and over here, that was another thing too. I was gonna start, because I'd be giving like people advice individually, like woo. I was like, yeah, let me just do some broad ass shit. But like I said, this was years ago, and I never like acted upon it until God put me in a fucking corner. So now I'm like acting upon it, and I talk about Jonah and the whale, but it's so funny, I'm always getting swallowed, because like I said, a lot of times I'm just reluctant to deal with people because a lot of their bullshit, and no one wants to really see what they need to correct. They just rather be a victim. And like I said, it's not everybody's fault completely, but when you know better, you do better. Like I said, we all have programs. You can interface in this reality if you didn't have a fucking program, but it's about upgrading your programs, because like, this is what people don't know. I wish there was a church of psychology that would really like open everybody up and stuff. Like there's a lot of programs in you that just downloaded in from your parents, and they're there subconsciously, and you don't even know you have them. You have to do like deep soul search and stuff. So like, don't be, I'm talking about the people that genuinely want to change, not people that just want to be seen and want to be victims and shit. But genuinely want to change. Don't be so hard on yourself because you have subconscious, because your subconscious is what rules your actions. Like, people are so focused on like, but your subconscious rules the actions. But to get there, like I said, with everything, it takes time. It takes about 3 weeks to create a habit and create new habits. So be comfortable and take time to yourself, and you realize when you don't put your own programs in there, you're just running the programs for your parents, which is okay. It's like people be getting so mad at something, but the best thing to start a healing process is simple. Just becoming aware of it. Not per se trying to change it, but being aware and why things, like I said, and that's when you really get onto how the law of attraction really works. Because I'm going to do a whole seminar on that, why, and the law of attraction for me, why it wasn't working. Like I said, and that brought me into like a certain level of teaching And it has worked for me a lot of times, but like I said, when lately it didn't work, I was like, oh, blah blah blah. There's like subconscious things that you have going on. I'm gonna tell you how to break those down. So like I said, it's so much more. They just like give you ingredients for a cake, but it's more than just saying affirmations. Oh, I feel good, blah blah blah. Like you can't fool the law, the universal creator, and you can't fool yourself either. You know what I'm saying? You can't be when you're feeling bad, like, oh, just feel good, blah blah blah. No, that's bullshit. But you have to understand where do those energies and things come from, and not address them, but be aware of them. Like I said, we always try to change, not necessarily try to change them, be aware of them. That's the first step in the healing process. And just you think about how your body, everything is everything in its natural form, in its highest function. You get cut, you get like an overlayer of skin or something, like your body heals itself. So the same thing with these different emotions and things you're feeling. The first thing, like everybody's talking about be emotionless and blah blah blah. That is completely wrong. That's why society's fucked up, and that's why so many addiction and stuff like that. Feel your emotions, feel that pain, and we have like this major thing where we're trying to always avoid pain and stuff like that. But sometimes you have to like sit with that emotion and okay, why am I feeling that? And but actually, like I said, that's the first step towards healing. The real way is not per se you trying to fix it, but you trying to be aware of it. And that's a lot of too to me when they're talking about creation theory and like things. I'm not really much for string or big bang or all these kind of things, but what does resonate with me, and then I have to say this because I had an atheist friend be like, oh, what the blah, who said God created things? Like, okay, then he showed me this whole video on creation, blah blah blah. Let me check this out. Every person that's spiritual, just like you tell me every person that's atheist, right, does not have the same ideals. So don't put. So who told you that I thought God created itself? I never said that. You know what I'm saying? I really have to address this because this just came to me. I never said that, but a theory that makes I'm getting some theory. What resonates with me, what I feel, what makes most sense to me, it matter. However you think about it, was always here, and it just became aware of itself, and like, and then okay, it studied itself and became aware of itself, just like you do now. It's like as above, so like when you start to become aware of something, that's when that pattern changes. So being aware, like okay, however, whatever sacred geometry or however it started building things, planets and things like that, and then you even see in science and like certain physics now, like to people that are involved, they show that we're resonance of stardust, but it started the fact that it was just aware of itself. So let's start there. That makes the most sense to me instead of just like boom, 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 something came out of nothing, blah blah blah, and you're trying to diss somebody on organized religion, but your shit makes no sense either. So I'm not saying this or that or this, but I got more respect for someone who's a little agnostic than atheist, because I don't really have evidence that there's this, but there's a God, but I don't really have evidence that there is no God either. So I mean, at least you're being real. You can't just be like everybody wants to be definite. But like I said, that's the problem in this paradigm. Again, that's another pattern that needs to leave, because there always has to be two in this paradigm. If you're not good, you're an evil. If you're not this, not realizing everything is everything. So you have factions of both, and that's where we're talking about a key to life. A key to life is balance. So everything is balanced. You have to know when to speak, when not to speak. You have to know to be a good person, but also don't let a motherfucker walk all over you too. Everything is balanced, but the problem is everybody goes on the absolute extremes, and that's why shit is off balance. And that's why, you know what I'm saying, like I said, the things like an eye for an eye, that's why things are so fucked up, because you let, again, a few elite people, and they then got into everything, because everything in the beginning, religion included, was good. It had really good, and I hate saying good too, because that kind of puts you in the duality, but it had a purpose that was genuinely good for something. You know what I'm saying? That was, and when I say good, it's about ascension. So everything has like a religion in its infancy. So I'm not gonna sit up here and talk about religion because that's how they want you to think of it. It's because they came in there and polluted it and fucked it up for control. So every faction of this matrix is about a ruling class control. And you don't know you're a slave. You're a slave to religion. You're a slave to your job. You're a slave to your ideas. You're setting up different, facets in your mind, and you're a slave to all these different factions. And again, it's that's what it's talking about, being all that's talking about breaking free of all the, and it really is. It's a matrix. It's like if you think about, if you study matrices and calculuses, and in calculus, you have these different, all these synapses, and right, you building these walls and these. Oh, this is the faction here. This is the faction here. So atheist is a matrix too. I'm coming for everybody. I'm really gonna break this shit down. I think when you come out of a matrix, you realize I don't have to be this wall, this box, this faction. I am, and I'm allowed to flow and orb. Just how the universe is allowed to flow and orb and evolve. Like another thing too, like I said, that's why nothing is absolute. Because who said God didn't like science? Again, that's your factions and the way you're doing it. Because there's a lot of scientific stuff that God did, experimented. It studies that we're experimenting fucking now. And it's all, and then once it's aware of certain things or certain things it doesn't like of itself, it sheds and then it evolves it. Period. So like, and however you want to think of it, like I said, don't put me into a box. I don't work well with those, because y'all comfortable with it and y'all color and y'all put crayons and stuff in your box. I don't work with it. I'm not even in the box with God, you know what I'm saying, or the source, however you want to say it, because I'm no fool. I know God is not Zeus on the cloud, so don't put me in that box. But don't put me in another box to where I'm saying, oh, I only see material, not realizing there's like, oh, there's not an energy or high source or a breath of life or a spark, electromagnetism, whatever the fuck you want to call it. There is something beyond this physical, and there is something that creates, whether it's energy, frequency, vibration, it creates this reality, and then it breaks down. It's like the lower the vibration is, the denser it gets. So that's why you have this physical. But this is an illusion. This is a hologram. I don't know how many times I have to fucking say this. So that's what I'm saying. I'm weary of atheists. Like, they talk about certain things, and like I said, Thomas, no, I don't know, speak on Thomas Edison, I don't know too much about him, but Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, all those people, they studied metaphysics, and they were not atheists. They were geniuses. So, there's a lot of separation of shit, and everything is everything, but like, don't think because it's separated that's absolute. Everything is everything. Everything was meant to like go hand in hand into this learning process. Like I said, the problem now is everything's been flipped and taught wrong. And like I said, there's like alchemy. There was alchemy before chemistry, and then that alchemy, what they studied the unknown, or the paranormal, or the occult knowledge, all this bullshit. And basically, they studied the energy created, and the energies that brought the energy processes that brought this down into manifest or come into this. It's hard for me to say, but this holographic or this physical as you think of it, because I have to speak to a way that you understand it, the physical reality. But yeah, I went on forever.